So how much time do I have to fill?
All is well.
Okay. Well, I've been wrestling with, I'm not wrestling so much, but have a number of ideas that kind of are swirling around, and I think they're about to come together here. Since my high school physics class, I learned about this thing called the observer effect in quantum mechanics, where a matter turns from a wave state, which is potential, it's now no place and it's every place, into a physical state, a particle, when it's observed. And that's stuck in my brain for since then. And I was just wondering is that kind of in parallel with
it is
creation?
Part of the attraction process, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So attraction, this is maybe...
If you really want to get a big physics lesson, look at a black hole.
Okay.
Sort of the same sort of thing. It's reaching out and gathering all kinds of things, bringing it together.
Okay, so...
Make a good book cover.
All right, so is based on the observing, which is essentially creating, is observing creating then?
Well, observing is creating in the sense that observing is activating a vibration and establishing a point of attraction.
And then the attraction is the rendezvousing, as you were saying, and that's where things happen. So it's not the creating.
When enough, here's the simple version of it. When a thinker thinks a thought, now you could be observing something, you could be imagining it, you could be remembering it, but as you focus upon it, as a thinker focuses upon a thought, that thought is already vibrating. And in your attention to it, you mimic the vibration of it in your vibration. If it's a brief glance, then the mimicking doesn't establish any pattern within the thinker, the observer.
Okay.
But if you hold your attention upon it longer, then you begin to mimic the vibration to the point that you begin to be the same as the vibration, and then by law of attraction, other particles or other thoughts or other vibrators, let's say, that are the same, then are drawn. So the thought gains momentum, it gains power. That's why we say that every creation is a vibrational creation before it becomes a physical manifestation. But it is all part of the same process.
And is that where the 17 seconds comes in?
Well, that was the reason that we began speaking in that way, because we were wanting to gain your attention, that the longer you hold your attention, Jerry used to tell a story that if a negative thought came his way, it was like a spark from a Chinkapig log hitting his sweater, and if he flicked it off immediately, there was no damage to the sweater. But if he didn't pay attention and let it sit there, it would burn a hole in his sweater. And so the idea is that the longer you are focused upon something, then the more you mimic it, and the more you mimic it, the more you become part of the co-creation process of it. And so we said 17 seconds, less than 17 seconds, you're not mimicking it enough for the attraction process to begin. But once you pass that 17-second mark, now momentum, vibrational momentum has begun. And once you cross the 68-second mark, plenty of momentum has begun. Now, not enough momentum to manifest, but enough momentum to bring another thought, to bring another thought, to bring another idea, to then, have you ever had the experience where you're observing something, maybe for the first time or as far as you know, and as you're observing it, because you want to be a good tourist and you want to look where they're pointing or whatever, so you focus upon it, and as it's activated within you, you begin to recall other things that are like it. The attraction process begins by reaching not into your memory, because you don't have a storage cabinet here, but by reaching into other vibrations that have been within you, because every thought that has ever been thought still exists. So every thought that you've ever thought, you have the potential of thinking again. depending upon what's active within your vibration right now. And then, of course, as you have eloquently described, there is a tipping point where it goes from thought to another 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 thought to enough momentum that you're not just now rendezvousing with thoughts, you're rendezvousing with other thinkers, which is really splitting hairs because all thoughts think. But at first you think a thought and then the thought begins to think, in other words. But as you think the thought and activate it within your vibration, eventually there's a tipping point where you're not just attracting thoughts, now you're attracting others who are commenting. Now you're attracting others who know the same thing. Now you are attracting life experiences that are confirming that thought.
And that's sort of where the manifestation.
And what's interesting is that people want to say that, and that is exactly when the manifestation. But there are lots of good ideas that begin to flow before the manifestation occurs. And that's really something that all of you intended from your broader non-physical perspective, because you wanted to work the bugs out of it. It really is a wonderful thing that every thought you think doesn't manifest this red hot minute. Seriously. You would have a lot of clearing out of unwanted stuff to do, a lot more than you do, you see.